Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone. We're your hosts, David O.
And Eric V.
And for the first time ever, I'm making a video while, recording.
Which will be dope.
Which will be dope. And actually, I moved the paint-covered step stool behind me, so it looks a little bit better.
I like the paint-covered step stool. It added a lot of ambiance.
It looks... I'm telling you, if you see my shot, I lined it up very good, so you can see my face, you can see the microphone, there's red and black behind me. It looks very good. I should be a cinematographer, Eric.
I can't even see you, so
you can't even see me. You're behind a partition, which is very upsetting. So we're just gonna have to trust that we're not giving each other the finger.
I just gave you the finger.
I just gave you the finger too on film. So that's in perpetuity. So today we are doing another mini topic-sode. Sans our co-host Carly, who slept in today. Apparently she woke up early and then fell back asleep, and we are text messaging right now.
She's a sleepy person.
She's a very sleepy person. I mean, she works in the school system, so kids are draining for 5 days a week. I get it.
And isn't she like a high up in the school?
She is. She's
like the number 3. Let's say like the principal and vice principal died, she would be in charge.
Oh, that's a dark way to put it, but yeah. There was one day where both of them were out, or actually I think it was a whole week, and Carly was in charge of the school. So yeah, she is a head honcho, and she's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, just saying, like, sometimes people die.
Yeah. God damn it, Eric. I really hope that you're probably being picked up on the video. I don't know, maybe.
I don't think so. I mean, my voice will probably be picked up, but not me.
Yeah, no. Today we are talking about willingness versus willpower.
Which there is a difference.
Oh, there's certainly a difference. But my thing with it, like, I was debating about whether to change it to like willpower versus like God's will, quote unquote, air quotes.
Who's God?
He's evil eye.
Evil eye.
Hasadiga evil eye. Because the thing that's tripping me up with willpower versus willingness is just the middle, the verses. They're not really competing. Oh, and we have a baby girl walking in.
It's okay.
I know.
Well, we'll just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Whatever. Eric's youngin' just walked in here.
She says no as the mom is trying to corral her.
Mom's coming.
Just slowly show her out, like, be like, hey, follow me. She'll do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's okay.
I brought you a new puzzle, Evie.
Faith in her.
Yeah.
Oh. It's okay.
It's okay.
She can stay here. She'll find her way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They're transient beings.
Yeah, go ahead, David. What were you saying?
So, yeah, it was just the verses, willpower versus willingness. I don't think they're competing. I don't like, but willpower and God's will, I think, is sort of a.
Though that's competing, but willingness.
I think that is a little bit competing.
Willingness and willpower, I think, do compete. Because I think willingness.
Okay, go on.
You're implying that willingness is coming from God, at least in this context. Like, it's not your will. But, like, you're getting power to do the willingness because of, like, whatever bullshit.
No. See, I think that's entirely different. I have a totally different perspective on this. I think willingness willingness is, in my opinion, it's just your intrinsic drive to, attain a goal or pursue any sort of action in your recovery or in your life. Because, that's willingness, I believe, is the crux of recovery to begin with. Because
that's fair.
Because you can have a desire. Like, you can know you have a problem, your life is in shambles, all these things, but and you can even figure out that, oh, I need to go to meetings, I need to seek therapy, I need to do this, do that, do like this, that, and the third. But unless you're actually willing to, get in the car, go to the meeting, raise your hand, introduce yourself, and just simply ask for help. And it does take, effort for sure. It takes courage, it takes bravery to like complete that undertaking of willingness. But willingness is the difference. Like, okay, you can show up to meetings. Cool. Are you willing to do step work? And that's why, like, in my opinion, when a sponsee has come up to me and asked me, like, oh, hey, will you sponsor me? Like, the answer is yes, like, with, like, an asterisk a little bit, because I ask them one question, and it's like, what are you willing to do to, recover? Like, what are you willing to do to get another day clean and, like, find and live a new way of life? And if your answer isn't, like, anything, then, what are you doing here? Yeah?
It's great.
That's pretty good. I mean, because you're taking, like, willingness as, like, a God's will thing.
Because, okay, think about it, man.
You see my point, though, right?
Well, yeah, but think about it from recovery's perspective, right? So,
yes.
like, you have open-mindedness,
Mm-hmm.
you have honesty and your willingness, right? The first three.
The
like,
how.
The how bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Willingness
Honesty,
comes
open-mindedness, and willingness. I didn't know that for, like, a year and a half.
And willingness
like,
comes
oh my
with
God,
three,
it
right?
spells
Like,
how.
so you're talking about step 3 with willingness. Like, we become willing to turn our will in our life over to the shared God as we understand him or her, or blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So willingness there comes at the third step. I think there's a something in the first step when you're talking about willpower.
Okay.
Because it comes back to that one sentence in the first step. We made a decision,
we were powerless over our addiction, and
we
our
were.
lives had become unmanageable.
We were powerless.
I love were.
We were
You were the person
powerless.
that pointed that out to me.
Yeah. Because it's a huge
huge word.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
and people are just like, and it's crazy when they're like, no. And I'm like, no.
I am powerless. No, you're not. You were.
You were powerless.
You were.
Because
you're not are.
You're also not fucking using the drug. So you've taken your will back.
Yep.
Because
you've taken your power back.
And you've taken your will back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you're asserting your will. I don't think you're taking it back. I think you're just finally asserting it in the right direction.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you're taking it back in a sense.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Because before
semantics.
you didn't have the willpower to say no, and now you do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're several lines deep into an 8-ball, like, you do not have the will to say, I'm not going to do the rest of this cocaine.
Well, that's not fair. That's like you've already set
it's
it up
very
with that.
rare.
Yeah, with coke, like, yeah, that doesn't happen. Like,
I mean, we'll go to the liquid drug with alcohol. Like, you have a 30-pack and you're already 12 deep. You're like, well, at least another 8 to 10 of this last of this 30-pack is gonna get crushed. Like, that when you're that drunk, you're 12 beers deep. Like, you already know that you do not have the wherewithal to say no, because you like and because I believe once you put that mind mood altering substance in you, you've given away your like willingness, like you have voluntarily been like, okay, this is going to be my whatever, this is going to be my life for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, several hours, whatever, because depending on the drug, depending on the activity, blah, blah, blah. Like, once you've surrendered that power, then you're done. You're done. Because, I mean, let's take it to other things. Okay, you have the desire, like, oh, I really don't want to gamble. I've been spending too much money. My checking account's low. My bills are behind, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you have your will. Do. Boom. You make the bet. You've surrendered it. It's gone.
yeah.
As soon as you make that bet, you have surrendered your will, and whatever is going to happen in that FanDuel bet or whatever, as soon as you place those chips on the roulette table and the wheel's going to do what it's going to do, you have surrendered your power in the situation. Same
For betting.
For betting. Yeah, for betting.
Yes.
But if you extrapolate it for anything, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to eat healthy. You wake up first thing in the morning. I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to get a Boston cream.
Well, that's your fault.
As soon as you purchase and eat that Boston cream, you have surrendered your power of will. So, because let's break it down. Like, willpower is your power of will.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so drugs, alcohol, sex, buying, like, oh, I don't feel, I'm in a fucked up spot right now. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I'm depressed. I'm whatever. I'm not going to act out. I'm not going to act out. I'm not going to act out. $150, $250, $500 later on Amazon or Home Depot or wherever. You lost.
Well, Home Depot is kind of like, if you spend over $300, it goes into that, 18-month finance. So I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But, oh God, it is so hard. Like, I never thought I was like, as we talked about as a kid, you're just like, oh, this is so boring. Why am I here with my dad? This sucks. And then as an adult, you go to Home Depot and you're like, this place is fucking great. I love Home Depot. I'm going to fix so much shit. I need this tool and that tool and this equipment and that equipment. And do you think I need a headlamp? I think I need a headlamp.
No, you never need a headlamp.
I do. I'm in the field, so I do need a headlamp occasionally.
I never need a headlamp. I have headlamps, but I don't need them.
No, I'm popping up in ceilings and looking for like I'm doing all sorts of shit. So of course I need it.
You need a headlamp every once in a while.
Oh yeah. So there is I have found out that like my healthy spending limit at Home Depot is $100. I'm like, if I can get out of here right around $100, I'm okay. I'm okay with this. And
mine is at whatever that mark is, like $300.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to get 300. I will buy more stuff to hit. $300.
Oh, if you're buying an actual power tool, you're fucked going in. As soon as you walk in the door, you're fucked.
What did I buy the other day? I bought a bunch of shit. Oh, I bought lights. Well, yeah, you saw it, I guess.
Yeah,
you noticed all my new lights.
I was driving up the driveway. Yeah, I saw your new solar lights.
That shit was expensive.
Yes, those things are not cheap at all. So yeah, that's willingness. Or no, that's willpower. No, well, it's willingness and willpower. So I guess that's how those two play into each other. Okay. This is starting to unravel for me, and I'm really liking it.
David's starting to get a handle.
I'm talking through this. I'm talking through my own rationale here of how willingness and willpower are two things that coincide inside of like recovery.
Well, and I think we'll bring up, even though we don't have an AA person here, I think it is important, like, for you AA people.
Yeah.
Because you're weird. I'll be the first to say you're weird.
I love our AA people, but strict, like, it's weird. They're weird from our perspective because we were garbage cans.
Well, no, but it's weird also that like they
have a very strict drug of choice,
but they never take back their will.
Some do, some don't. But like, so that depends on the person, but like in the semantics of their literature, I understand. Like, I get where you're coming from.
Holy shit!
What?
Sorry, somebody gave Rooster like shoes and some like fake arms, and it looks like he's running.
Oh my god, I love those. Yeah, I've seen those. Those videos are great.
I've seen that before.
You've never seen those videos? They're hilarious. No. They give him like little T-Rex arms.
Yes, and it's like running around. It looks like it's like a little
like a dinosaur.
Yeah. And like it's scaring other birds, and like its arms when it jumps down, like it goes to the side, like it's an attack.
Anybody who didn't hear that, he's talking about a video on YouTube where they put little like T-Rex arms onto a rooster, and it's running around, the farm and like chasing all the other chickens.
It has like little tennis shoes on.
Oh, and they put tennis shoes on it too. Okay, that's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
But yeah, back to I mean, I don't want to like strictly I don't know, single out AA people because I think we're garbage heads, so we're very different. Anybody who's listening, a garbage head is somebody who just dumps it all in the can. Everything's in there. Like I was doing uppers, downers, laughers, gigglers, weed, alcohol, cocaine, opiates, hallucinogens, whatever. Put it in me. I loved it. But there are some people who are out there who are just like, I love drinking. Yeah, I love strictly alcohol. I don't do weed. I don't do meth. I don't do anything else. And those people are weird to me because I don't understand that. I'm like, if 12 beers is good, why not a couple lines of Coke as well? Let's bump this party up. Let's keep it going. So yeah, like once alcoholics they don't necessarily understand the manifestations about how addiction, like people who separate alcoholism from addiction, in my opinion,
are weirdos.
they're not weirdos. I just think they're misunderstanding the crux of the issue.
I think they're not getting to the core of the issue.
Maybe not. I just think they're either misinformed or misconceptualizing what it is, because like to separate the two is ridiculous. Like it's like saying, oh well, there's fruit and then there's strawberries, and it's like, well, strawberries are a fruit, and it's like no, strawberries are strawberries. Strawberries are a fruit,
and then there's strawberries. That's so good,
right? Right? Like it makes sense. Like there's
alcohol and then there's addiction.
There's alcohol and then there's addiction. Like and people separate the two. Like there's alcoholism and then addiction. Well, are you addicted to the alcohol?
No, I just had an alcohol problem.
No, I have an alcohol problem. And the reality of it is no, you have a fucking you problem, Chad. Like
well, but they do like the alcohol bit though, man. Like they
Absolutely.
put a lot of emphasis on like it was the alcohol's fault, not my fault.
Yeah, it was the alcohol's fault, not mine. It was like, no, Chad, it was you downing a whole bottle of Tanqueray before
Can that
noon.
be the name of our AA person named Chad?
Yeah,
Chad and
Chad and Debbie. Chad and
I feel like Debbie's a better name though than Chad. Like,
we'll find. It can't be Karen. It's not
Sharon?
Sharon?
No, Carol.
Carol. We're doing Carol. Chad and Carol. Chad and Carol are our hypothetical AAA people. Are Chad and Carol?
We're from CC and we're.
No. It's like I just like drinking Boone's Farm so much. It was like that was how I de-stressed my day, and that was it. I just had a problem with drinking wine. And it's like, no, Carol, you have a fucking problem with you. Like, why don't you want to deal with your kids? Why can you not function after your 9 to 5? Like, what's going on here? Let's actually like get to the problem. And
Carol.
I like Carol.
It's the Tim and Eric Awesome Show is what I think about when I say that.
See, I think of Charlie Day in It's Always Sunny with the plot of strings behind him, just trying to talk about Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, I gotta show you the Carol thing after this.
Okay, we'll get to that. So willingness and willpower, dude, and I've seen it a million times. Like I've been around here. I'm going on 12 years. Like I've seen some shit. I've seen lots of people go in and out. I recently just had a sponsee, say.
Let's talk about that, by the way.
We're gonna digress. We're gonna digress into my sponsee.
What's up with that, dude? Like, was this the guy that came on our show? That guy?
No. Neither of my sponsees have come on.
I thought one of them did.
No.
This is the one with 2 years.
Yes, he would have. Yeah, he's going on 3, and now he is out actively using.
Like how? What does that mean? By the way,
his drug of choice was copious amounts of marijuana, which totally made his life ridiculously unmanageable.
So he's going back to marijuana.
Yes, he has gone back, and he is being with him. And we've seen this with lots of people, and people who say, "Oh, marijuana's not a drug," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is." For
Greg.
For some people,
Greg.
Yeah, for some people, it really is. It makes them a completely non-functioning human being.
I can't even be friends with him anymore.
It's very difficult. Like some of these people, like their whole life revolves around marijuana, and like that's a problem. If you like. Okay, Joe Schmo, you go do 10 hours of roofing and then you come home and you smoke one joint and relax for the rest of the day. Are you is it fucking up the rest of your life? Probably not. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't give a fuck. It's not my life. It's not my problem.
Well, smoking multiple blunts back to back.
Smoking multiple blunts, smoking not being able to keep and hold down a job because you're just so burnt out and stoned. You're like, I don't feel like doing anything. Or like, oh, I'm only creative when I smoke weed. It's like, no, you're a turd. That's what the fuck you are.
I'm only creative when I'm sad.
I'm only creative. Well, that might be true. That might be true. There's a lot of great blues albums to support that claim. Yeah. And blues might not be good without heroin.
Yeah.
Blues and jazz are two garbage genres of music without drugs. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of great jazz that you can have without drugs, I think.
No. Yeah, I was making a joke. So yeah. He in 2 years we did some step work. We did 1, 2, and 3. But his willingness to find a better tomorrow for himself stopped at some point. I don't know when. I don't know why.
Well, is he like, is his life unmanageable?
Yes.
Like now?
Yes.
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't want to go into it. I'm not. Nope. I'm not going to go into it too much because
Are you talking to people. Is that the thing? You're talking to his friends and stuff and other people and like.
No, I'm just trying to. It's doctor patient confidentiality.
Of course,
you know what I mean.
That's,
so yeah,
sponsor.
Yeah, I'm really trying to be respectful of like, obviously we haven't said his name, nobody knows who he is. But still, if I keep giving out more and more of his life shit, I'm not going to put his shit out there. But I'll leave it at like his life is unmanageable. I know it's unmanageable. A lot, like all of his friends who have interacted with him over the last 2-3 years see it like your life is unmanageable. He's not holding down a job. He's not holding down, he's freeloading a place to live with relatives. And he's he's a 28-year-old man. So
he's freeloading. What do you mean? Was he freeloading before?
No, he was in a recovery house, but he moved out probably 6-8 months ago, which I was like, I don't know if that's the best idea because his life was rocky at that time too. But he made his decision, and that's something that's part of willingness as well, is willing. Probably one of the biggest parts of recovery, in my opinion, when you're in it, is you have to be willing to remain teachable. If you're not willing to receive constructive criticism and willing to listen to other people's opinions genuinely and honestly and then implement them in your lives, then I don't think you're going to go very far. Because once you're saying, oh, well, or but, or this or that, I think you're you're shooting yourself in the foot as far as what you're willing to change. Because for me, I know when I got here, I knew that the way I was living life was not functioning. It was not working. And there were these people who had many years clean, my sponsor, my friends, who knew how to live life and put a life together. And I didn't. So I was willing to, I didn't ask so much, just as really, I just watched people and like, I picked shit up like, oh, how do I, have a functioning bank account? Well, I get a job. I show up to that job. I do the best work that I can. And then once I get my paycheck, I find my bills and make sure that that's all paid before I do any sort of frivolous spending. And I'm not perfect at that, but I've gotten a lot better over 11 years, and I'm in a way better, like I'm in the best like stability and financial spot. Oh, excuse me. Than I've ever been in my whole life. So, and that's, I think, the biggest part of like willpower.
Willingness.
I guess we'll say will in general, because also going back to like the spiritual idea, I think everybody has two shelves in their lives. One is your spiritual principles, if you will. You got honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. And then you have generosity, diligence. I don't know. Give me some. What are some other spiritual principles? Compassion.
Empathy.
I
was about to say apathy.
Work ethic, stuff like that. So you have all these things, like these good spiritual principles, which in my opinion are higher powers. These are all higher powers than me, like diligence and dedication, all that, hard work are greater than me. They're just ideas that exist in life, and I can't change them, and they're here for my benevolence. And then on the other shelf, you have I have my character defects and my inadequacies, my insecurities, stuff like that. Lying, cheating, stealing, laziness, shit like that. Just any sort of detrimental character aspect that is not going to help me further my life. Now I have these 2 shelves, and in any situation, I have the ability to pick one of those traits off the shelf. And like, okay, I made a mistake at work. So nobody knows I made the mistake at this point. Hypothetical situation. So I make a mistake at work. Somebody then finds out that, oh, the mistake was made. Who made this mistake? Who made this mistake? They're asking everybody at work. I now have my own integrity, and I have the ability to either completely lie in that scenario because I have deniability. Nobody knows that I made this mistake, but I can fucking lie to you and say, I didn't do that. I don't know how that happened. That's weird. That's crazy that would happen. But I also have on the other shelf the ability to be honest in that situation and just sort of take whatever ramifications come down the pike for what I did. And that's accountability. That's responsibility. Those are 2 spiritual principles. And then the willingness and the will is the active part of that. Are you going to use your willpower to act in a fashion that is responsible and, honorable and, has integrity, and be honest in that situation, which I've learned to do. I did that at work. Like I threw something out when I was working at the restaurant, and the owner came out and was like, who threw this away? I did. I didn't know that we weren't supposed to throw it away. That was my bad. And it was what it was. That's 10th step shit. It's whatever step shit. And nothing happened. Ultimately, the opposite happened, because most times she would ask, who did this? Who did that? And everybody, if I didn't do it, then I can generally be like, I don't know. But when you start to establish a new track record of honesty and integrity, then people see that in you, and they recognize that David is an honest person. And that's how that's a living amends. That's recovering your life. And it drugs, alcohol, sex addiction. Like if you're in a relationship and you're cheating constantly, because it's compulsive and you can't stop, then you have to establish a track record of trust. And if you can't establish that track record of trust through active willingness and action, then your life's not going to recover.
Yeah.
I'm killing this right now. I'm going to be honest.
Well, I'm curious. You have 2 sponsees, right?
I have 2 sponsees.
What's your other sponsee's drug of choice?
Benzos and opiates.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I get that there are people who smoke weed and like their life, like Greg is a great example, and fuck you, Greg. I'll talk about you. So
we've had him on. Yeah, we've had him on here a couple times.
Yeah, he knows I'm mad at him. So
okay.
He's a fucker.
Yeah,
but he
nobody knows Greg.
There are those people that I've met who can make their life just like unmanageable,
completely go to shit.
Weed.
Yeah,
because
totally.
we were talking about like, oh yeah, someone like goes home, they smoke a bowl before bed, and like that's their night. Where it's like
exactly they're
smoking blunt upon blunt upon blunt
yep.
upon blunt, and it's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the people out there who come home and you're like, I want to have one one good scotch or
I want one good scotch,
please.
One good scotch, one of your finest scotches, sir.
I'm thinking of some guy just like sitting in like
I'm thinking of Ron Burgundy being like, I'd like scotch and milk, please.
A high leatherback chair in like a fucking
some mahogany.
In a library in front of a fire, like this is how I wind down from my day with one good scotch and one good cigar.
And the smell of mahogany on my nostrils.
You're working hard. You're a longshoreman or whatever the fuck you do.
You're a longshoreman. Come back home from the maiden voyage.
Come home from the
to your
docks.
mahogany and scotch.
Good for you. Anybody who could do that, good for you. I can't do it. Because it was never my fucking story. I never sat down in front of a fire in my library, fucking.
David
just
doesn't know the
winding down through my
horrors
day.
of being a long
Or
bowman.
fucking I mean,
a long showman.
yeah, or some woman enjoying one glass of wine at the end of her day. I don't care. One guy smoking a bowl or a joint at the end of his day to relax or wind down. I don't care. But like alcohol, nicotine, and marijuana is like I think that's the line, because I don't think you can come home. I'm just going to do one shot of heroin, just one quick shot of heroin, and I'll be fine for the rest of my day. No.
So I disagree with you there, buddy.
I don't.
I do.
Okay, that's fine.
I think there's different people in this world.
Is it possible? Sure. It is
I
absolutely.
do think it's possible.
I do think it's possible. How
there are people that we used with who weren't addicts. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of them.
Yeah, because they
weren't addicts.
Yeah.
And they would just, oh yeah, I can do some coke on like Friday.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the big part of addiction. Addiction is,
but
making your life unmanageable.
Exist, right? Like,
yes.
So you can't say like everyone's gonna have that same.
But it all depends on unmanageability. Unmanageability is the absolute key. Like if your life, if you're shooting heroin and your life is not unmanageable, you are a goddamn unicorn. Because there's probably 5 of you on planet Earth out of 8 billion.
I would give it higher than that, but there's less of you. Yeah,
it is a very of all. If you take 100 heroin users, how many of them do not have an entirely fucked up life? It's less than 5.
It's a few. Yeah,
it's that, and that's 5%. That's 5% out of 100.
That's ridiculous. I do think there's a different contingency of drug users that are not addicts, and I think those people don't get highlighted all the time.
Well, those people aren't listening to podcast recovery because they don't need.
They're bowling out and having fun.
Yeah. Their lives aren't unmanageable.
Yeah, we get back to that point. Yeah,
that's like their lives are not unmanageable. Like if you're going to work and getting raises and you're making it to all of your kids' events and you have a loving and caring husband or wife, and
was that your first sponsee?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And his clean date was on my birthday, so I thought it was like,
it was meant to be. Yeah, it's
meant to be.
Yeah.
And so he's out there, and that's something I wouldn't say I'm struggling with it, but I'm dealing with it internally, like intellectually.
I think it'd be a struggle to have
emotionally.
Your first. I remember when
it bums me out.
I remember when my first sponsee relapsed.
It bums me out because of course I have the internal narrative of like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? This and that. But, I ultimately I can't live his life for him. It's his willingness and not mine. And that's something that Herb, my sponsor, impressed upon me. Like, you're going to do whatever you want to do. Like, you can come into the meetings, you can do as much step work, you can talk to your sponsor as much as you want, but it ultimately comes down to what you want to do with your life. Like, nobody can do this thing for you. You have to do it for yourself. Like, your wife is not going to keep you clean. Your friends are not going to keep you clean. Your sponsor's not going to keep you clean. You're going to be in this meeting for an hour, 2 hours a day, at most, maybe once a week. So you're spending an hour a week in this fellowship. And then you have the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your life where you have to depend on that integrity, that responsibility in order to do the right things in your life. And nobody can do it for you. And that's what willingness is. Are you willing to fucking recover when nobody's looking? And it's 50-50. It's either yes or no. And if you're not, then you're not going to stay around here. You're not going to be part of a fellowship. Like, your life may or may not get better or worse. But I know what it is for me. And like, I've been doing it for 11 years of trying to do the next right thing. And ultimately, like, looking at myself internally and just saying, can I be a better version of myself tomorrow than I am today? And how do I get there? and who can help me get there.
Yeah.
And that's my willingness. And there's lots of days where I'm fucking unwilling to do a goddamn thing, in which case I make no progress that day. And then maybe the next week I make great progress. And then the next day I don't. And it's willing to not let yourself crash and burn when those don't days happen. Because we're not perfect. Nobody fucking recovers every single fucking day. I'm getting better every day. No,
every day, dude.
No, you're not.
Every day.
No, you're not.
In every way.
No, you're not.
I'm becoming a better and more successful.
But that's the goal. That's the goal. I mean, like when you're drinking your liver away, like smoking your fucking mind away, shooting your like whatever away, like when you're in any sort of addiction, eating, fucking gambling, when you're doing all those things, when you're giving your willpower of your life away constantly on a day-to-day basis, I promise you the odds are against you. There's a very small chance that you are going to succeed and move forward and be happy. Very small chance. But like when you start living a different way of life, and you're living like with integrity, with your money, your food, your relationships, whatever sexual path you have, whatever usage path you have, if you're looking at that stuff responsibly and honestly, then I think you have a higher chance of living a happy life if you're open-minded to change. If you're willing to like sacrifice who you are today to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, then I think you have a better chance of being happy.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, do you have anything else to add? I think that's willingness and willpower.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, yeah, I was just gonna... I guess like the other way you could think about this is with people.
Yeah.
Which would be an interesting way to kind of like... And like rejection.
Okay. Go on.
Because like if you think about it, your will is like, I want to date or fuck this human.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation and the person.
I'm not perfect. I know. But I see a redhead walking down the street. I can't help what my mind does sometimes. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, but think about like
But that's the action.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like, when you have like a crush or you're like you really like someone and like you believe that like the will is for you guys to be together, and the other person is like nope, that's not will. That is not happening.
That is delusion. Yep.
And I think like a lot of people have been in that situation, right? Like I've had that situation where I've been in it on both sides, where like actually multiple times on both sides, with the girl and with me being like, nah, it's not happening, man.
Well, I mean, that's being honest with yourself and being honest with like the situation, and not realizing that you're deluding yourself with any sort of expectation of reality. Because as soon as you're like, oh, he's a Libra and I'm a Capricorn, it's meant to be, we're in the stars, and it's like, yeah. Are you? You sure about that? You sure about that?
It was written in the stars, David.
Like,
okay?
He bumped into me on the subway. It was serendipity.
It was meant to be.
It was serendipity that brought us together. David. I don't know why I turned into turned into full Moira Rose right there.
That person? Did someone find?
No, but it's full Moira Rose right there. Everybody watch Schitt's Creek. It's a great show. Yeah, I mean, dude, you don't know how many there is, and this is gonna sound horrible, everybody. Like, I apologize. Like, you don't know how many women I have just seen. I've never even interacted, and I've had sex with them, married them, had children with them, divorced them, like all in my mind in a matter of minutes. Because I'm insane. David's crazy.
Well, we talked about this a little bit on the last episode.
We did.
That I think sex should be decoupled from relationships, but
yes, I mean, sex is part of relationships, but also it is two very
no. But if you think about it, dude,
things.
like it's okay. Let's like. I really would like a girl to break this down.
I know. I really want a girl to be here. So sorry. We have two, penises talking about this.
But it's like, okay, so yeah, great. sex is part of relationships. I get it. It's fine. But people have different, like, levels of what they want with sex. And usually that isn't in line with each other.
Yeah.
And think about how many issues lead to sex when it's just like, oh, I'm tired. And it's like, I'm not. Well, I could just hire a hooker, which would be easier. But, like, that's not allowed.
That went extreme. Yeah.
No, but if you think about it,
exactly.
Like, how many shootings do you think would be,
Good
like,
God.
solved by like,
people just getting laid?
Yes.
Okay.
Seriously.
You're not wrong.
Or if they could just
You're
be
probably not
heard,
wrong.
right? Just be listened to. Like, they just want to be heard by somebody. Maybe they pay for that, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think it would solve a lot of problems, actually, because I feel like a lot of it's just pent-up aggression.
Yeah. I think we're getting into a separate topic here. But yeah, that's something we're definitely gonna have to talk about. I mean that's mental and emotional well-being for sure. But it's definitely a different topic because
It's a different topic. I've been on this for a while. I'm a bit big on communal living right now. Those are my two big ones. Is decoupling.
You'll be poly.
You'll
be poly in 3 years.
Hippie.
Cool.
I'm some hippie dude, you know. I'm just like, man, communal living and like, you know, just free love.
It's a great way to live.
You
It's
know,
a great way
just
to live.
free
It's
love.
absolutely.
But
Free love. Oh.
free love
That's
and communal
totally
living.
different. Totally, we have gone off the rails. But ultimately, like when I see a beautiful woman walking down the street and my mind goes crazy and I do all sorts of things, like it's not my fault that I had those thoughts just like unconsciously and like without my decision.
Do you feel bad about that?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it
Do you know how many people that I've been friends with where I'm like, this is what it would look like if we fuck?
dude, you don't know how many people.
Do you know how many? Almost everybody. Almost everybody, dude.
Everybody.
Like I could see,
Everybody.
like
You don't think
everyone I've worked with, everyone.
Dude, you don't think I've looked at Kim and Brad over the last 11 years and like, I wonder what they look like while fucking. Like, of course.
Well, Kim recently for sure, yeah.
Good.
Right?
All right.
You did the same thing I did.
I
We
did.
both said it to her,
Kim,
dude.
yeah, Kim,
we
you're looking
said
good.
it to her.
Kim,
We were
you're
like-
looking good.
You're like, you look good, man.
Yeah, but like, do I? And I'm not going out there saying people should feel bad about that. I'm just talking about me personally. Like, I feel bad about that because
But why?
Because I don't want to, like, I have 4 sisters and like I don't like that level of.
Do you think girls don't sexualize men? Do you think this is only one gender that does this? You don't think women are looking at you and being like, David, look at that spiky hair and like,
Okay.
I wonder.
Are we going full disclosure here?
Full
Are we going
disclosure.
full disclosure?
Yeah.
I like so deeply inside me want to be a thirst trap for women so bad.
You could become a thirst trap for women. It's called Instagram, like,
and I
it's
really
just
want
angles,
to.
dude. It's
I
just
really
angles.
want to. Like, but that comes back to me and my thinking. I'm like, why do I want that? Because I want some sort of external validation from women.
Yeah.
Like, I really do. Like, and that's terrible. Like, it's not necessarily healthy for me to be thinking like that. And I'm just talking for me. I'm not talking for anybody else. Yeah, I know me personally, if a woman catcalled me while going down the street, it would melt my soul. I would feel so good about myself. It would be amazing. I have never been catcalled. I've never had a random woman come up to me and be like, "You look fucking hot."
Well,
like,
and no one's coming up to
God.
you because you have Magnus, so you don't get that. You don't have animals, so you don't have girls coming up to you because of animals. Because I have Evie and a dog, so like.
So because I'm a boy dad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm taking him to the park. I do take him to the park, but yeah.
No, dude.
That's
When
around, like, other
I
moms.
take walks with like my daughter and like the dog, people are just like, "Look at this man! Oh my god, just you? No, where's your wife?" And I'm like, "Yep, just me, dog, and the stroller going along."
Yeah, I don't know.
Do
Sometimes
you know how many people come up and say stuff to me?
I've gotten
just
that
'cause
I
I'm,
have an
like, by
unapproachable
myself?
face a lot, so I don't know.
Oh, he's got a resting bitch face. Okay.
No, and I don't know why people are intimidated me about.
Because you have tattoos.
By me. Yeah, but they're not even scary tattoos. They're all brightly colored, and it's like the Cheshire Cat, and I have the Lorax tattooed on my arm. I don't know. I don't know.
You
we've
dress
gone
like
off
a
the
punk
rails.
a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I have a beard and a mohawk and tattoos and facial piercings. So I guess yes, I am off-putting. But hey, I got a niche for a thirst trap. I'll tell you what.
You do.
I'm
You
going to be
do.
starting an OnlyFans, and hopefully we'll get some validation.
I have considered selling my feet before.
I have really nice feet.
I do too.
I have great feet.
Did we talk about this?
We did.
I did. Yeah,
We
I have
did.
really nice feet. Like they're
I have
symmetrical.
really nice feet.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can pass them as girls' feet too.
Oh, I probably could. I just need to shave up to the ankle.
There's money to be made there.
There
guys.
is money to be made. All right, but we have gone way off the rail. Willingness and willpower.
All right. I think it's time to shut it down.
Yep, it is time to shut it down. So everybody out there, think about your own willingness and what your willpower is and how you can exercise it in your life. And, work it to your benefit instead of your detriment. Because willpower is a pendulum that swings both ways. Are you willing to go get drugs? Then you should be willing to seek recovery too. So
Ooh.
yeah, there's the hit right there. But yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. If you have any thoughts about willingness, willpower, we can talk about it again for sure. Send us a message. Send us a DM on Instagram, Facebook,
all those
Twitter,
places.
all those places. Also go to all our social media outlets, like, share, subscribe. Please help us keep the mics on as we are self-supporting. So go to our merch store and purchase
Patreon.
and our Patreon. Send us a
And
few shekels,
PayPal.
please, and PayPal. All those good things because these are expensive. Ooh, I bumped the mic. Shouldn't have done that. But yeah, most importantly, everybody out there,
Stay safe and stay clean.